What's up, y'all? It's your girl Asa. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, go ahead and press that subscribe button because y'all already know what time it is. Today we're talking about 7 things that you should keep in mind before moving to Los Angeles, or honestly any major city. Let's go ahead and get on into it. So if you're following me on Instagram, you've probably been following my journey of how long I've been living here in Los Angeles. If you're not following me, go ahead and go to my Instagram and follow me right now because you miss it out, okay? I've been in Los Angeles for going on, I think June will be 4 years. Wow. 4 years that I have been in Los Angeles. That's crazy. I have another video that I shared how I moved to Los Angeles with no money. If you did not see this video, I suggest you to stop what you're doing right now. Go watch that video and then pull back to this one and watch this one because then it's all gonna make sense, okay? So we're gonna talk about 7 things to consider before moving to Los Angeles. Y'all, I have been here for almost 4 years and it has not been the experience that everyone tried to tell me it was going to be. I've experienced some things that I'm like, okay, a lot of people experience this here. But honestly, I've been having a really great experience. It has not been an easy experience, but it's just something that I feel like I could share a lot of tips, resources, advice, pros and cons, because I've been here for a while and they say after 5 years, you can kind of call yourself a Cali native. So it's giving Cali girl, okay? Let's go ahead and jump right on in. Okay, so boom, the first one is cost of living. If you're watching this video, you've probably already watched tons of other videos that say cost of living is expensive, traffic is crazy, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Cost of living is very expensive in LA. However, pay and salary is higher here. You can make it work. If you're willing to get here and hustle and do the work, you can absolutely make ends meet here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. You definitely are gonna have to work overtime, work a few jobs, but you will be able to make it happen. And if you are a believer, you already know that God is a provider and He gonna make a way for you. Now, when I first moved here, I moved here in 2019. I didn't have no money, y'all. I fundraised, like I did the whole, make sure y'all just go back and watch the video. And honestly, like when I came here, y'all, I was hustling. I had a bachelor's degree. I was finishing my master's online and I was like, you know what? I gotta do whatever I gotta do to make it happen. So I was working in retail. I was doing DoorDash, Uber Eats. I was background talent for different shows and movies and I was getting paid for that. I had like multiple jobs helping me be able to pay for groceries and rent. And then I also was able to tap into like, you know, state assistance to help me with food stamps for food and stuff and health insurance until I was able to get on my feet. Now, if you're planning on moving here, you don't have a plan, I'm heavily going to suggest you to lean on state resources. Like, I'm not here to tell you to abuse it, no. But if you need it, go ahead and use it. A lot of people here don't know that those resources are available for you. If you qualify, depending on your background and your pay and all of these other things, you may qualify for food stamps, for health insurance, and even maybe for like a monthly stipend that can help you get on your feet when you first get here. That's just something to consider because it is very expensive to live here. Gas is almost $6, $5. It can be very expensive, and just being able to chase your dreams and keep a roof over your head is very hard. And let me just say this, everything I share in this video is based on my own opinion, my own values, and my own experience. Other people, of course, have had other experiences, but this is just what I suggest and what I've experienced while living in LA. Make sure you also consider how much car insurance is, how much it will take to maintain that car. In Jersey, I used to be able to get an oil change for $40. In LA, it's like $70, $80. Just keep all of those things in mind because those are really like things that you have to keep in mind when it comes to living. You don't just have to pay rent. You have to get groceries. You got to make sure you're healthy. You got to make sure your car is in shape so you can get to work. Like, there's a whole bunch of other things to consider before moving here. Now, although LA is expensive, like I mentioned before, pay and salary is a lot higher here. So if you don't know how to navigate those conversations, I highly, highly, highly suggest you to look up on Google and online how to ask for more money at your job. When I first got here, y'all, I had finally landed a full-time job maybe after like 6 to 8 months of being here, and I had no idea that I was getting underpaid because I still had this like New Jersey mentality. I was like, oh, like I don't have this much experience. I didn't know any, like I just didn't know any better. Like I just kept making up excuses in my head and I was being extremely underpaid at the job I was working for. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you're asking for more than what the job is offering, and make sure that you advocate for yourself in interviews and different jobs. But maybe you could say, hey, I've had experience in this and X, Y, and Z. You know, I noticed that the salary for this average role is X, Y, and Z. I would like to meet the company here. Like, make sure you advocate for yourself when it comes to getting paid what you're worth out here, because y'all, a lot of people don't know is that you don't just get paid for experience, you also get paid for the cost of living in your area depending on the job that you're at. So make sure you know that. Another thing is, if you're coming here for your career and work, also make sure that you have access to different networking events, communities, and like groups where you can network with other people. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, through hashtags. Try to look up other creatives, Christian creatives, Black creatives, different groups, running groups. I know there's a group called Black Girls Run that's really dope out here. Like, try to tap into community before you get here and just meet up with those people, get to know them. Of course, make sure you're safe and you're sharing all of what you're doing with someone that you trust and who can, you know, get to you if God forbid something were to happen. But definitely, like, consider how you're going to network with people and connect with people in your industry and in your field, because LA is huge and there is so much out here, and you just need to make sure that you're solid in that area. That brings me to my next point: social life. Y'all, when I moved to LA, I literally did not think about having a social life. Like, I literally was like, okay, I'm just gonna move to LA and chase my dreams. No, girl, you need a social life because you don't work 24/7. Make sure you find yourself a good church home, find yourself a good community of people that you can lock in with every week. Go to church, get filled with the word. That's if you are a believer. It took me a really long time to find a church home in LA. I may even do a video on that, I'm not sure, but I would just highly suggest that you plan to have a social life in LA. Will you go to the beach once a month? Will you go hiking every weekend? Will you go hiking every day? Start thinking of those things now so that you're just not overwhelmed and burdened with chasing your dreams and paying bills all the time. You have a life outside of work. The next thing is weather. Now, I love the sunny weather, but not everybody loves sunny weather all year round. If you're one of those people, you need to consider if this is a place for you, because honestly, LA is very sunny. We don't really get like the fall and the winter that you'll get in New York or on the East Coast. It is a very pretty much warm and sunny all year round. Like, we do get cold little seasons and cold fronts here and there, but the weather is really beautiful all year round. And honestly, that helps me a lot with my mental health and my wellness. It helps a lot with my workout routine. So that's just something else to consider. You also want to consider that we get rainstorms, fires, and earthquakes. Earthquakes ain't nothing to play with, but I'm gonna say this: I can handle an earthquake now. I've been here long enough, I can handle it. It sometimes just feels like it's a train passing by, like a big train. It's a little scary, but it's doable, okay? You want to keep that in mind, because if that terrifies you, I don't want that to steer you away from moving here, but to just keep it in mind so that you know what to do in case of an earthquake hitting and you're by yourself. My next point is going to be transportation and travel expenses. If you're someone who likes to be home for the holidays, I would highly suggest you to consider how much it's going to cost you to be home for the holidays. Flying out of LA is so expensive. There are other airports you can fly out of to save money, but it's definitely something you want to consider, because I be in New York a lot, y'all. And now that I'm like a lot more established in my career and in my brands, I be traveling a lot. And that's really something that you need to consider when it comes to finances out here. And then if you're someone who needs a car and you know that you prefer to drive places, you also want to consider, okay, how much is insurance? How much is gas going to be? Like, do I need to drive everywhere? Can I live in a place of town in LA where like I could just take the train or take the bus? I personally think public transportation in LA is a lot cleaner and better than New York and New Jersey. Don't kill me, y'all, don't kill me. But yeah, that's definitely something you want to consider before moving here, so that you just kind of know what you're getting yourself into. The next thing I want to say to y'all, it's really important before you move to LA or any other city that you have health insurance. I know that my generation, like, we're young, we think that we just want to have fun and chase our dreams, but the reality of it is you need health insurance in case of an emergency. I think I mentioned before in one of my videos, or maybe even in this one, where like I fell into a really tough depression dealing with loneliness, anxiety, and like just being sad. And like I needed therapy and I didn't have health insurance, and I had to figure out how to get health insurance so that I could get help. I started having really bad like backaches, migraines. Like, it was just a mess. And then I was like finally able to apply for like Medi-Cal when I was going through it, and I wasn't making a lot of money, and I was just able to kind of get help, and the help that I needed. There is help out there, guys. You just have to look up different resources and organizations that are based here in LA. You have to be honest about your situation and let them know, like, hey, I'm doing whatever it takes to get to where I need to be, but right now I need help. And baby, they helped me get to where I was today. So I'm so appreciative of Medi-Cal. I'm so appreciative of the nonprofit organizations that help me find therapy for free. And I just really suggest you guys that you highly consider health insurance before moving here and making sure that it's something you'll be able to have and be able to use while here. My last point is make sure that you have a safety and emergency plan. If something were to happen, make sure that your family and friends back at home have your information, have your address, have your location, and know what to do if you're here. My family got all of that, okay? So in case somebody want to try to kidnap me, just know they coming for me, okay? Just know it. Mark my words, okay? But for real, like, make sure you are safe while you're out here, y'all. LA is not a joke. It is dangerous sometimes, and you need to be very strategic with who you're hanging out with, who you're drinking with, what you're doing, and who you're around. I'ma just say that. Just please, please, please have a safety and emergency plan, and just stay on your toes, 10 toes. And of course, always pray before anything. If you enjoyed this video, comment below and let me know if there's any other videos you want me to share about living in LA. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Love you. Bye.